Why do you need a holiday to you potter around? Your big day last week was going to the cobblers. So why do you need a break so much this week?
It's just that, you know, it's good for your brain and that, isn't it? It opens it up a bit.
You are not evidence for that.
Where did you go?
Gran Canaria.
For a week?
Yeah.
Just sitting around?
Well, there isn't much else to do at Gran Canaria. I mean, I don't want to go slagging a place off because every time I seem to talk about somewhere, get into trouble for it.
Right.
But it's just like a big rock. It's
Brilliant.
just volcanic, innit?
And you must have looked like a little barnacle on that.
Have you been there before?
Been near it before to another rock, which was just.
Well,
it was
what,
the
you
same
had your
sort of
fingers
thing.
burned, why did you go back?
Because you think, well, they can't have loads of these islands that are the same, like just a big rock with hotels on. They can't get away with it. So you think,
And they
well, the
obviously
next
are
one.
getting away with it. But why do you keep going to these places that are rocks? Why don't you investigate first? Ask your travel agent, is this a giant rock?
Because that's what you do, innit? You go and find out yourself. I mean, when Armstrong went to the moon, what was he expecting up there? That's a fact. That's a big rock, and he still went all that way.
I don't know what that point was.
No,
Fair
so what I'm saying is, though,
What do you make of this place? You enjoy it, Gran Canaria? It was just a big rock, but did you
I bet the moon was better.
Really?
What did you do?
It was just one of them. It was a big hotel, like big, massive places where there's loads of people, and you know you go for your dinner.
That describes a hotel.
Yeah.
No,
Sounds like
no,
one to me.
You've nailed that.
I've been to a few, that sounds like it.
No, but I thought, so there is stuff going on that I can chat about. Start a diary.
Sure.
You started a diary.
Yeah,
And what are you going to do? Did you keep it up every day?
yeah. Just
Oh, can I read it, please?
well, a diary is meant to be sort of.
Please, can I read some out on this podcast? Karl.
Some of it though is only relevant to me. It's sort of.
Oh, this is. Please give me it. Oh my God.
I mean, this isn't. I haven't just.
It's one of those desk diaries.
It's huge. It's about a foot long, and it's oh, that is amazing. Imagine if Anne Franks had been like that. As she got out, right, everyone would have heard it clank down on the desk.
Yeah, but my writing's quite big, isn't it?
Oh look, give us that.
Do you
Give us
know?
that.
Do you know about joined up writing? Have you
This
heard
is
about
There's
that?
no point.
Amazing.
Sometimes you can't read it, can you? So it's
Right,
best to
okay.
look at
oh
ancient
look!
times.
Oh my God! It starts on the first day. This is wonderful. Going on holiday to Gran Canaria today. Woke up to the news that Tony Banks had died. There was a piece on the news about how everyone was shocked. Got me thinking about an invention that would be good. Right, a watch that counted down your life. If it says you've got 3 days left, go to the doctors. Told Suzanne about invention. She said she wouldn't buy one. But she said that about the iPod.
How would this device work? This watch? I mean, how would you know when you were about to die? Is that a concern? Again, not for you to worry about. Presumably the boffins and
No, all I was thinking is that Tony Banks fella, you know, he died and everyone was shocked about it. But if you had like a little watch on,
But how does it work? You can't just say, wouldn't it be good? How would this work? Yeah, I imagine you in the patent office going, got an idea. They go, oh, certainly, Mr. Pilkington, what's your idea? Watch that counting down your life. Oh, how does that work? What?
just wear it, just pop it on your wrist.
No, what do you mean, just pop it on your wrist? How does it work? Just pop it on your wrist. Brilliant. You're an idiot.
Well, it's interesting that he goes on. The flight to Gran Canaria was a bit bumpy. I thought about the clock that counts down your life again, and I wondered if it would know if you were going to die in a disaster. No, he's querying his own design.
He's wondering if he would know. He's invented this.
And now he's not even sure.
This is a brilliant diary. This might be the best diary ever written. Oh.
While sat listening to the Kinks on my iPod, I wondered if everybody thinks in their accent. I know I do. What's this? What are you talking about?
Just that, you know, when I've been sat there lying on the lounger, right, and I was thinking about stuff.
How do you know you think in your accent? Tell me a typical thought.
Because what I mean is, say if I was like, if I saw something, right? Do you know how I say like, oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
No, but
that was
I don't
being
have
said.
to. But when you think, I don't think the sentence is like I'm saying it. It's just a thought. The thought appears. It's conceptual and it's already there. It's not like I go, Rick, what? Just looking at that fellow over there, were you? Yeah, I was. Yeah. I was thinking it looks a bit weird. Oh, so was I. I don't think out whole sentences.
Whereas you have Carl, stop listening to the Kinks for a minute. Look over there. More cross-eyed people.
No, well that's
Is that how your mind works?
In a way, yeah. And
Brilliant.
that's when, because I
Explains
thought,
a lot.
It's great that he has to think about whole sentences.
because I thought, that's weird, isn't it? Like, I didn't think, that's weird, isn't it? And I thought, I actually think in my accent. And then I thought, does Stephen Hawking, does he, when he's doing his maths and that, is he, I don't know where he's from, so I don't know what his accent would be like.
I think he's from Kent or Cambridge or Oxford or something.
Right, so,
So you think he might think in his
voice, in that voice box
computerised
thing.
voice?
Just wondered.
Had lunch inside today due to shite weather. Sat next to an old fella. Old men's ears and noses carry on growing as they get older. Suzanne noticed his fingers were fat too. Maybe they continue to grow. Suzanne didn't laugh when I said her arse had the same problem. Day 3, cloudy. Did you have a nickname?
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of people on the estate that I grew up on. You know, nicknames are big things on estates and that.
Yeah.
A lot of my dad's mates, right? What their nicknames did was tell you about them. Do you know how I said about the Elephant Man's a good name?
Yeah.
Because, like, you know what you're going to get. If someone said, Elephant Man's popping around in a bit, it wouldn't be a shock when he walked in.
Yeah.
Right? So it worked in that sort of thing. You know, so there was John the Screw, right?
John the Screw?
Yeah.
Whether he had sex a lot or he worked in a prison.
No, he had a DIY shop. so you had him, right? There was Fred the Veg,
Yeah.
which is
I assume it's because he was at the same IQ as you.
Or he was in a coma.
Yeah.
Right.
there was my uncle Tattoo Stan.
All right.
Yeah, he had like loads of tattoos that he'd just done himself.
Oh my
Right.
God.
The problem was, because he did his tattoos himself, the ones on his left arm were really good. Because he was right-handed. On his right hand, rubbish. Right? So there was him.
Great.
And there was Jimmy the Hat.
Jimmy the Hat.
Yeah.
Did he always wear a hat?
No, he didn't. That was the point there. That he never wore a hat.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
How can you pick up on someone never wearing a hat? How would you ever notice? I'll tell you what, I've noticed something about Jimmy. What?
Go on.
He doesn't wear a hat. why was he not called Jimmy the Parrot? Because he never carries a parrot.
No, but that's just the way. I mean, that's how they work in it. I mean,
Here comes Jimmy Three Legs. Why'd you call him that? He hasn't got 3 legs.
I didn't really have one apart from like I had a CB. You know, like when you'd go on a CB radio and have a chat to people.
Oh, this was a craze in the, was it late 70s, early 80s?
Sort of early 80s.
And it was just short band radio, wasn't it? Everyone had these little handsets and they'd speak to each other in the sort of local area.
Yeah, it was mainly. I think it started off with like
Lorry
truckers
drivers,
and
isn't it?
that.
Yeah, truckers, yeah, because there was that thing from like about 1977,
Convoy.
it was Convoy, yeah.
Yeah, so I had one of them, and the handle. I had two
Handle
different
mean
names.
is your nickname, your
Yeah,
name?
there's loads of code stuff.
Yeah.
I had a couple. I had there was Pilkio one, because
Right.
like I say, there's a lot of Pilkingtons and that in Manchester. So if someone wants Pilkio 2, it's open. Do you know what I mean? We can have it. And then
Like it's people scrabbling. I want a Pilkio one.
and then because I did boxing and that,
Well, you did it once.
Yeah.
I'd Boxer Boy. Because I thought that's quite a good image as well. That's kind of like people going, oh, don't mess with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he asks what your handle is, tell him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Boxer Boy and that. So, just had them two, and I used to just go on there and...
Pointless. What is the point of this?
Well, you just meet people, don't you?
And you
So-
don't meet people. You say, "What's your handle?" You go, "Box Boy." What's yours? Rubber duck. All right, cheers.
No,
It's
but then
ridiculous.
you'll say, like, then you go, oh, what's your 20?
What's that mean?
That's, where are you?
Well, why don't you say, "Where are you?"
Because just in case there's someone who's listening in who you know, you hear about this all the time, don't you? People listening, jotting stuff down.
Oh, right. So, just in case someone in the world doesn't know what handle means, they're out of the loop. They're out of the loop.
It's not a difficult code to crack, is it? If
Yeah.
you're trying to track someone.
It's hardly the head of the mafia talking to each other because the FBI are on the wire. It's ridiculous. Like, I go, "Oh, you keep saying that, what's your handle?" And they come back with something else. I can't work out what's going on.
No, it's like anything, isn't it? That's what codes are all about, isn't it? You set them up and that.
Go on, and tell me the code then.
Reveal at long last to the world what
Yeah.
these codes are.
Right, so
Yeah.
what's your 20? Where are you?
This is better than the Enigma.
Yeah.
Right, now here we go.
Right.
How many candles are you burning?
Does that mean how big's your car or something like that? Horsepower or something?
See? No, that's
Oh,
how old
what
are you.
time is it?
No, how old are you?
What, how old are you? Okay.
Right.
Right.
How many candles are you burning, of course?
Yeah.
So what's the answer come back?
You go,
I'm 15.
14.
Brilliant. That code, there's no one gonna work that out. I wish you'd have kept a diary of this, because this has been fascinating.
Now and again, someone will come in and go, side on, right?
What's that mean?
And that means, like, there's someone sat there listening into this chat and going, this sounds interesting.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
And they want to join in, so they sort of go side on, you go, side on, bring it in, right? And they go, alright.
How many candles are you burning?
Yeah. What's your 20?
That's it goes round again.
Yeah.
See you later. What's your 20? How many candles are you burning?
Oh.
And, I mean, it seems to me that what you should have done is made a note the first time, so that when you then speak to them again, you don't need to ask them those questions. Can I just confirm that you're burning 15?
Right, this is extracts from Karl's diary.
Did podcast and went for an Italian with Ricky and Steve. Italian place is good. We've been there a few times. I always have the same thing, spaghetti. Can't remember what everyone else had. Last time we went there, Steve had little octopuses with pasta. You could see that they were octopuses. They hadn't been cut up or anything. My rule is that I only eat stuff that looks nice when it's alive. A cow, a chicken, some fish. An octopus is an odd-looking thing alive. Even worse when it's dead and limp. It looks like it just shouldn't have been sat in the spaghetti.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Ricky drew another picture of my head. We've given a few of them away as prizes, but he draws so many of them that they won't be worth as much anymore. Everyone will eventually have one. Like those pictures of a boy crying that caused houses to burn down in the 1980s.
What does that mean?
What are you talking about?
It's just some kid. My auntie Nora had one, and it was just like a kid with like a blue jumper on, and it's like a painting, not a photo.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And he's just crying.
Like a chocolate box. It's really awful, sort of sugary.
And what happened is they found out that a load of houses were being set on fire or burst into flames, whatever. And the weird thing was,
oh, it's bollocks.
every house that burnt down had that photo.
Yeah, because every house had that picture in the fucking 70s and 80s. Idiot. It's like, we're linking it to sinks. Every house that's ever burnt down had a sink. You're talking shit again. Carry on.
This is from Anne-Marie. She says that she loves the podcast. She listens with her 7-month-old baby. That cannot be a good idea. And she says this to you, Karl. If you had children, what is the most important lesson you'd want to teach them?
I mean, in a way, if you sort of look after a kid too much, it doesn't learn that much. But if you let it learn by its mistakes, it'll probably grow up all right.
But there are some mistakes you can't afford it to make to learn from.
Yeah, driving a car the wrong way down a motorway.
Testing if the fire really is hot.
No, but say like the time...
Does broken glass really taste horrible? These are lessons you don't want it to learn from mistakes.
You can tell them that.
Yeah,
but what I mean
exactly.
is, there's certain things that I just think there was a kid who grew up in our avenue, right, on the estate, who, when it was born, right, we kind of thought it's got no chance, this kid, because its man was a bit of a rumman. You know,
A rumman? Where's that?
No, just like, you know, she like going out and having a fag and like having a drink, and she's never at home. It's the one who had the horse in the house.
Sure.
Right, which I don't want to go over.
Sure. It's old news.
It's out there, isn't it, if you want to find out about the horse in the house. But she had a kid, and everyone was pretty surprised when they saw it, because it was a good-looking kid. She was surprised, because, like, you know, the man wasn't that good-looking, the dad was a bit rough. But it came out, and she was showing it around the avenue, going, look at this I've had. And she was chuffed with it, because it's probably like one of the newest things she's ever had, because everything else was always sort of
Second hand.
and what have you. But suddenly she's got this brand new little baby, right? Anyway, as it grew up, right, those looks went.
Right.
And I'm not talking getting old, I'm talking by the age of about 3. It looked rough already, right? And all that just happened because that's the life it was in, right?
Yeah.
So like it had like a patchy head. Its hair.
It what? It had a patchy head.
A patchy head. It's just sort of.
It wasn't a North
stressful.
American Indian. What do you mean, a patchy head?
Just his hair was patchy. He used to chase sort of cars and stuff.
It's cars, sorry! What do you mean?
Just that's what he did for his...
Sorry, did she let it get raised by wolves?
No. But all I'm saying is that, at the end of the day, what is it that makes a person? Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know what state he's in now, but maybe he learned all his mistakes by the age of 4. I'm guessing he's not chasing cars now, but at least he's done it.
I'm guessing he is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At least he can go, yeah, I've been there, done that, and you don't go back to it, and you can get away with doing dafter things when you're a kid, can't you? I nearly killed a man once, right?
Okay, right.
That time when I was in Wales, and I was having a walk with my dad on the cliffs and that, and I just picked up a big rock, right? Chucked it off the edge, and as I chucked it off the edge, I noticed a fella was walking down below.
Jeez.
And I missed his head by, like, inches. Now, I've never chucked a rock off a bridge or, like, off a cliff or anything.
And it only took one man to almost lose his life for you to learn that lesson.
Yeah, but that's how you learn your lessons, isn't it?
See, a lot of people would have said that maybe your dad should have said, "Wait, Carl, what are you doing?"
No, but he didn't know I was doing it. I didn't say I'm going to chuck this off there. I just picked it up and chucked it. And, like, as I let go of it, I noticed a fella was down there. You live and you learn. That's a little mantra.
Right.
You live
Okay.
and you learn. So the woman who's had the kid, sort of look after it, feed it, make sure it's got shoes and that, but let it roam about.
That's great.
There's the advice for you, Anne-Marie.
I love that.
Good luck. Just let your 7-month-old baby roam about.
It was just all sort of Chinese proverbs and that.
One of my favourite on the same subject is a camel is a horse designed by committee.
What do you mean?
Well, it's having a go at the camel, and it shouldn't. But it's just, it's just a metaphor. And if you wanted to design a horse and you had that vision, but you let 12 people in a room have their say, it wouldn't come out as you wanted it to do, and it wouldn't be as good. A vision is more perfect than committee, because everyone having their say, it becomes anodyne, it becomes compromised. Whereas the best things you can do is have an idea and have a vision and auteur that.
Rick, can I just say now, I can tell from his look that he's thinking, which committee designed the camel?
Well, I'd say, why would you request the ump bit? Because that's just going to get in the way, isn't it? I've always said that about a lot of animals. It's like we've doubled up on a lot of them. We've chatted about elephants and mammoths, one or the other. And that's the same with a camel. I'd have that up there as what they're doing. They were good years ago in the Jesus times and that. Don't need them now. You know what I mean? We've moved on.
Well, not people who use camels to cross deserts.
What other? I'm
communities.
going to throw some animals at you, and you tell how you'd have improved them if you'd have been designing them. Okay? Mm-hmm. The octopus.
So I can now go back. I can look at them and go, what are they doing?
And where have they gone wrong? What's up with it? How could you improve it? Like the camel, you'd go lose the app.
I'd probably give it a bit more of a body. Cut down on the arms. And give it some bones. Because I don't understand all this. It getting in a jar is good. When does it want to get in a jar? It says...
Well, it only wants to get in a jar according to your stories.
No, but there's something that says it can get in a jar because it hasn't got any bones. But I don't know why it'd want to do that in the first place.
Easy.
I can't even begin to answer that. Once again, you've claimed that you've read that they like to get in jars. I mean, how do they know that octopus like to get in jars?
Oh God, I love it. You can improve on an octopus. Millions and millions of years of evolution, making it perfect for its surroundings. Okay, another animal for you then, Carl.
Giraffe?
What are they adding to the world? What are they doing?
Well, it's not about what they add to the world,
No, but
is
I thought that's what everything's about. It's about things are here for a reason.
The reason they're here is because they didn't die. That's it.
No, but there seem to be a lot of animals that are like...
Do you think there's a lot of cheating? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, there just seems to be a lot of doubling up.
Yeah, so you get it down to like 8 animals that represented all of it. So okay, who would get in your team? You can choose 8 animals.
This is what I'm saying. If I was Noah, I would have gone like, hang on a minute. I've just seen something that looks a bit like this. Let it drown. And have a clear out. But he didn't. He was messing about saving everything.
He was instructed by God to save everything, to be fair to him.
Yeah, but if he's been given that job, for me, he's sort of manager of that job.
So you believe...
with
Noah as well. You
Well,
believe Noah happened as well, and he built a boat big enough to catch 2 of every species. You actually believe that as fact, do you?
Well, it's out there in book form.
Brilliant.
All right,
We haven't answered the question that we started with. How did you meet Suzanne?
just at work.
Thanks. Travel. People are fascinated about your approach to time travel, and I know we've talked about this in the past, but this is a very specific time travel question. If you had a time machine, Karl, to what event in your childhood would you travel back to, and why?
What's the point in going back to things that you thought? No, it's just that it's never as good, is it? It's like a place you go on holiday, and you go back thinking it'll be as good as the first time. It never is. So I don't believe in going back to places.
What do you understand the question as? Do you think they're asking, would you go back like a ghost and spy? Would you go back and you've got your childhood back? You are that child again. You're in the body. You are the child, or you've got your adult head and experiences. Rick,
I really don't think Karl was thinking there was any of those variations. Let's be honest. But now that you've flagged them
I
up,
think he was thinking of him as he is now in school with a cap on.
yeah,
but
too big for the chairs.
yeah. Come on.
No, I don't think I would go back. It's all happened now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's an email for our own amusement.
Well, okay. Well,
choose an event. Okay, forget the time travel thing. Well,
no, hang on. I think let's clarify one of Ricky's points. What if you could go back and you could live that moment again? How would you do it differently?
There's been times where I've gone, oh, that was a bit out of order or whatever. But then you learn from your mistakes, don't you? So I don't want to go back and change stuff, because it's like that thing that they go on about, innit, where they blame the butterfly on an earthquake. You know, it's going to happen. If it wasn't that butterfly, it's another one. So why pass the buck, is what I'm saying.
So you've got no regrets. There's nothing in your past you'd want to change or do differently?
What about if you went back and you spied like a ghost on something? You couldn't change anything, but you could have a look at someone and just sort of look like like Ebenezer Scrooge does at the Ghost of Christmas Past. He goes back and he's sort of like looking at himself dancing and stuff. What would you do? What would you go back and have a look at?
Yeah, but you're asking me to change. I don't want to change.
You're not changing, you're just observing.
It's impossible.
All right,
this question, it's not going to happen. You're not going to have to do this. It's impossible.
Right, yeah, I nearly died once, didn't I? On an ice pop.
Right.
Right. Now, maybe if I would have died, I'd say, well, let's go back to that, and I won't have an ice pop.
You wouldn't be doing the podcast if you'd have died. You wouldn't be having this email put to you. What are you
That's absurd. You're now saying you're rewriting history and then going back to change it.
Yeah.
There's no need. You didn't die.
And we've changed it. You can't change anything. You're just going to go back and watch them. Would you like to go back and watch yourself choking on a Mr. Freeze?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't go back now, because I'm all right. I haven't had one since. I've learnt a lesson. I'm not missing them ice pops. So
I don't think you're making the most of this opportunity to fantasise.
I don't see the point in going back in anything. I mean, do you mean go back in time to the point of you can see, like, Rome in its working day?
What, in your childhood? Was Rome about when in your childhood? Were there gladiators in your childhood?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everything I've been through, so why see it again?
Forget it. It was just a nice little question.
I mean, that shows the lack of imagination in Karl Pilkington. Your mind can't fathom something unless it's, like, got two heads.
But I don't see the point in doing something twice. Because the thing is, say if there's one good moment when I was about 6 that I loved, I'd then have to go through all the other 20 years. Again.
Well, why? Why have you imposed that? It's a fantasy. Make up.
You could go back and come back again.
Yeah, whiz back and fast forward 35 years.
Nah.
Brilliant. No. Like it was on offer. Like this was really on offer. Move on. It's Karl Pilkington's diary. Oh, he's written it down, yeah.
Was that the jingle, or were you just just annoyed about something? Okay. Went and did the podcast. We had a meeting after. I don't like meetings, as I can't keep focused on what people are talking about. I think Ricky has the same problem as after 25 minutes he was trying to wrestle me. I tried to do what spiders do and stayed still as if I was dead. But Ricky just stayed on top of me, not moving. A bit like when you see one of them big snakes swallowing a sheep. Ricky got bored and released me. I went home thinking, why had I left my old job for this? A homeless man asked me for some money, but I didn't feel like I should treat him, as I felt that he'd probably had a better day than me.
Oh, God.
Suzanne called me to say she'd gone for a haircut and that she'd meet me in the supermarket. I went to the supermarket, but she wasn't there. I called her and she said she was near the fruit aisle. I went to the fruit aisle and she wasn't there. Turns out she was in a different supermarket on the other side of town. And that if I'd listened to her properly, I'd have known that. I didn't want to say that
Well, you just went to the first supermarket you thought of, as opposed to listening to what supermarket... I'm in the supermarket. All right, bye.
I didn't want to say that I hadn't heard her properly, because my ears were ringing a bit from the wrestling from earlier. 25 minutes later, I met up with Suzanne. Her haircut wasn't that bad. Normally, her haircuts are followed by an argument between us, as she pays over the odds for some daft haircut that's the latest style.
Brilliant.
I wish she'd take a picture out of a magazine or ask for a style rather than letting the hairdresser do what she wants. I said I only tell her to do this as she's got a square head, and a close-cut hairdo makes it look squarer. She said, what do you think of this cut? I said it looked alright, as I couldn't be bothered arguing about it. It's weird writing a diary. I don't know who thought of doing one of these first. The last time I did one was at school. They used to get you to do it so they could keep an eye on whatever you were up to. My diary used to say the same thing every night. Got home, went to the shop to get potatoes, bread, milk. Went home, watched telly, went to bed. I think I might have gone to Twiggy's Dance Club just so I had something different to write. You've not told us about Twiggy's Dance Club.
It's just, you know, I sort of, when I was a kid, I sort of gave everything a bit of a go. I did boxing and that, didn't I? Gave that a go.
For about 45 minutes.
And, yeah, a mate sort of said, oh, you know, you're into your dancing, your robotics and that, you're doing your body popping, right? Body popping and that. He said, you ought to come to Twiggy's. And, I went there, but I didn't go in, it was shut. They were just having, like, loads of toilet rolls delivered. I think, like, they were, like, using it as a storage place for toilet rolls and that. So I said, oh, I've come to have a dance. And like, oh, not tonight. Come back tomorrow. I never went back.
Brilliant. What a waste of an anecdote. Right. Brilliant.
Just mean, like... Say if, you know, they're running out of ideas for TV programmes and that, right? They get someone who isn't well. They go, look, do you mind if we make a programme on you? And what they do, they sit them in the bed and they go, right, what we're going to do now is take out the heart but replace it with a pacemaker. Right,
No. Sorry, people with pacemakers don't have their heart taken out and a pacemaker popped in.
All right, then. Some sort of machine. What I'm getting to is...
Have you been playing Operation?
What I mean is... What I mean is, the big finale would just be a head chatting with loads of wires going into it, and it's like, look what we can do with science.
That's what the programme's called. It's the same every week. The volunteer is just a head with loads of wires coming out
Look
of it.
what we can do with science.
And he's going,
goodbye.
Oh, I feel ill.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was... Oh, this is
This
great.
makes it in the diary.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington.
I don't know why that's so funny. Oh, God.
I got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington. I opened it and the first sentence read, Dear Mr. K. Dilkington, you're one of our most valuable customers. I put it in the bin. Like Descartes. Watched a programme on him the other day. He is the one who said something like, I know I'm about 'cause I dream. Doesn't work for everything 'cause ants don't sleep. Question from Jade. Karl, what would you change if you were in charge of what kids are taught in school? Right, you know, because, I mean, your school experience was a bit iffy. You got very bored, didn't you? You got very disillusioned by school.
Yeah. What I'd do, right, is, instead of sort of teaching kids about 2 and 2 and that, she's 4, right?
Well done.
Show off.
I think they should be asked more questions that make them think rather than something that has just got an answer.
I totally agree.
Right? So,
So teaching them the quest for knowledge, inflaming their
But
imagination.
just freaking them out a bit as well, just going like...
See, I knew that's where it was going. Because as soon as you started talking, Rick, I was thinking you're thinking some of the big existential or philosophical questions. You know, does it mean to be human? What does it mean to interact with other humans? To be a humanist?
Or teaching them sort of like philosophy on a basic level, that, you know, teaching them the love for learning. So, you know, get them up to a roots level so they want to learn and then they will learn, as opposed to just teaching them facts.
Whereas...
He was thinking, freak them out a bit.
Yeah.
No, just like, you know, like I read the other day, and someone sent it in on email, like, how there's a dishwasher that's been found on Mars.
Rubbish.
Whoa, what?
That's not true.
So tell them that.
But it's not true.
Go home and write about it. How did that happen?
But it didn't happen.
Well, it did happen. It was in a science magazine.
No, it didn't happen. There's not a dishwasher on Mars.
Why not?
Because...
What do you mean, why not?
How did it get there?
But we're always sending, like, rubbish out there and that. It's like...
Not dishwashers. What, you think the council take it away and they go, where can we put it? Well, the tip's full. Well, where's the nearest thing we can dump this? Mars, I imagine.
No, but the same way that fella who, I don't know, was it 2 Christmases ago, when he was messing about saying I can get stuff to Mars and all that, he did it wrong, because he did it on, like, Boxing Day, and I just think nobody's concentrating. No one wants to work on that day. It's kind of like, do you know what I mean? They're going to do stuff sort of half-arsed, aren't they, on Boxing Day? So, it didn't really get there, I don't think, but it crash-landed.
What are you talking about? What was he trying to do?
He was sending something up to Mars.
Yeah, that little fella that wanted to get something on Mars, and it got...
probe, you mean?
And it didn't open properly.
Yeah.
It got there, didn't open.
But the thing is, it got there, it didn't open properly. No one's been back to pick it up. And what I'm saying is, we're saying about going to Mars as our next planet. It's a tip. There's loads of stuff that's been flirted up there.
No, it's not.
It's just all, like, that probe thing is still there, rotting away.
Yeah. So, ipso facto, there is a dishwasher on Mars. We've settled that. Why would they have a dishwasher on Mars? Would they take the dishwasher up in the space shuttle in case they had dinner parties? What are you talking about?
I just think they would have a little dishwasher in there. There's a lot of them, tight space. You don't want to, but who's going to do that? You know, that means...
Do you know how much fuel it takes to move a kilogram
Yeah.
out of the Earth's atmosphere? So they're going to take up a dishwasher, are they?
Sorry, but what are they cooking up there, Carl?
How many people does it take to fly a rocket? How many people? Tell me how many people.
Well, it's either one monkey with a banana shoot that feeds it, or probably 2 or 3 humans.
Right, say it's 3 humans.
Yeah.
Now there's 3 humans, because they need one to steer it.
One to stop at the petrol station to get more...
What I'm saying is, if you're going to start having a sink, then whoever's
They
washing
haven't got
up...
a sink.
I know, because they've got a dishwasher.
He's got you there.
But anyway, I'm not going to go into that, but all I'm saying is, teach kids things about... Say to them, right, when you go home tonight, there was dinosaurs knocking about ages ago. How would you have lived with them? Get on with it. See you later.
Well, they didn't. I've told you this before. You got a lot of your information from the Flintstones and 1 million years BC with Raquel Welch. There weren't dinosaurs knocking around where there were little fellas knocking around in furry pants.
No.
Question from Kevin. He says, Carl, other than the famous boxing match that you've often talked about, I know that took up about 20 minutes of your time, have you ever been in any other kind of fight? I don't suppose a slanging match. I think they're talking, have you ever been in a physical fight?
Once that I can remember. It was over a woman. Well, a girl. I was at school.
Yeah.
And it was because, like, it's hassle, innit? Right, relationships when you're younger.
How old were you?
About 7.
It was over a woman.
Go on then. Yeah, go on.
And there was this girl knocking about who, you know, she was quite good looking, everybody liked. And my mate, he really liked her. And I didn't sort of ask her out on that, but she just sort of took a shine to me and stuff, right? And didn't really go out with her properly. It's at that age where going out with someone is just like sort of going, all right, in the morning, do you know what I mean? You just sort of nod your head.
Yeah.
And that. Anyway, there was some sort of school disco. And they were playing Spin the Bottle or something, right? And I sort of wandered over to see what was going on. And I stood on this girl's dress and put a hole in it. And she started crying. I was like, oh, I can't be doing with this, right? You know, what's up with you? It's old, what's up with you? And everyone's going, Carl, what are you doing? That's meant to be your girlfriend and that. You should be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that, and saying it'll be all right, we'll sort the dress out. I said, oh, I can't be dealing with this. Right? So she's crying her eyes out, so it's over, right?
Oh, it's over, you saying, all right, in the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, there's no more. Right. In the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right? And this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, you're out of order, you know. I'm saying, what are you on about?
Sorry, there's 2 7-year-olds. Yeah, you're out of order. Keep out.
Yeah. Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink, and he just said, "Leave it."
Get out of my face.
So I just sort of said, look, why are you getting involved and all that?
Yeah.
2 7-year-olds! Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like, because, you know, he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there.
Yeah.
I accidentally, you know, sort of chipped his tooth on a sink.
Wow, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? 2 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that... What were you wearing, football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know, it was like that sort of material.
You were wearing winkle pickers.
like crepe, you know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And that got a hole in it.
So you're having and when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks and
a little
head
bit of
locks?
wrestling and shoving about and that, and it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down, and his tooth hit the sink,
Right.
and it chipped and what have you. After that, like I sort of left there and stuff, and we had to go into assembly, and there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, "Listen, kids, you know, don't get into trouble, because we're out there and we'll get you." Right, so sort of trying to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh God, there's a copper here talking, and like my mate's going to come in a minute, like with a chipped tooth and everything. And
Questions are going to get asked.
that's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said, "You'll never take me alive, copper."
So yeah, that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
What I mean is, we've obviously interfered somewhere along the way, and
Well,
and
we
shouldn't
have
done.
interfered, yeah.
We shouldn't have done, because it's the same way. Like, if we didn't have planes and that, would we have wings now? If we'd have needed to get about, would we have had wings?
No, the answer's no. Next.
No, but you say that, but look at the way.
Because he's right, he says it because he's right.
No, but all I'm saying is, you see that little picture of like an ape to man.
Yeah.
At first, they're crawling about on all fours because probably you're looking for food, so you want to be down there. So
Right.
if you're on both legs, you're missing stuff that's on the floor.
What sort of time period do you think this... Because, I mean, we started, dabbling with a plane maybe 100 years ago. So what sort of time period do you think this little thing who's scrabbling around looking for food stood up and
I don't
walked?
know. I sort of don't worry about time. Sort of
Well, I'll tell you now, we
behind
wouldn't have
Rome.
wings now. If the Wright brothers had said, "Oh, forget it," we wouldn't have wings now. Well, it's that time again. It's the feature that the world is saying could rival Monkey News one day. Ready?
Oh, what's he written today?
Well, Karl's diary. You didn't actually explain what it was. On the tube on the way back home, saw an advert for a book about a woman who works in a funeral home. She went into work one day, she goes to work on a body, she takes the sheet off of one of the bodies, and it looks exactly like her. This is called a doppelganger.
What's a doppelganger to you?
It's the thing I read about him ages ago, where someone was walking down the street.
Yeah, and he sees someone who looked a bit like him.
And no, this was weirder than that.
Go on.
He remembers, like, going down that street as a kid on his bike, whistling.
Yeah.
And then he's walking down the street, going to get some milk or whatever from the shop. Little bike comes whizzing past. He hears the whistling, he goes, "That's weird." Looks at it, it was him when he was a kid. So it's like a time.
Shit. What do you mean it was him as a kid?
This is like a different form of doppelganger. It's just
Well, it's impossible, it's rubbish.
some sort of time thing, isn't it?
No, it's
time,
that's impossible, so don't
It's
worry
just some
about
kind
it.
of time thing, Rick. No.
Yeah, it's
just
something
some
you
kind of
read
time
again on the internet, or it was a short story, or something someone told you.
On my walk back from the tube, I saw a jogger who was pushing a pram at the same time. The kid looked terrified. Got my science book out. It said that the static you get on the telly when a channel isn't tuned in properly is radiation that is still knocking about from when the Big Bang happened. I thought about the Big Bang and wondered if it was really a Big Bang, or did it just sound louder as there was no other noise to drown it out.
Good point, though, isn't it?
Karl's diary, Rick, never ceases to amaze. We do, of course, Rick, every week get thousands of emails. I mean, it's Freddie from Winchester says, of course, it was recently Valentine's Day. What's the most romantic thing that you've done for Suzanne, Karl, that you can think of?
I don't really do all that.
Sure.
The Valentine's Day stuff.
It's just, the problem is, if you do it once, they expect it every year.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Christmas and stuff, innit? It's like, it's become, that's what you do now, every year.
Every day, yeah.
So I prefer to just sort of wait, you know what I mean? And you know, if I think of an idea or I know of something that she wants, I might get her something, but I might not do it on Valentine's Day. It's that thing. It's like how I've said about Pancake Tuesday. Make it Pancake Wednesday. Have it when you want. Why am I waiting? Why am I waiting for someone to tell me when I can have a pancake? I'll have it today if I want one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Pancake Tuesday, no, I won't bother. I'll have trifle. So it's the same with this, you know, with Suzanne. Luckily, right? I mean, Valentine's Day and what have you, she was ill.
Luckily.
So we didn't have to go out. So I'd say, is he asking for advice?
Well, I suppose, yeah, certainly you may as well give it.
Treat them when they deserve it.
All right.
I remember once when Suzanne was ill, she had a fever, but there was no food in the house. What did you suggest to her? She was too ill.
Well, it was when we were still living in Manchester and that, and you know, we needed to get some food in for tea and stuff. And I said, come to the supermarket. She was like, no, I'm ill, you go. And I hate buying food. I just sort of get a bit blank when I'm looking at it. There's too much, isn't there? That's the problem. You go down all these aisles and there's just too much. So anyway, I said, no, come with me. She was like, oh, but I've got this fever, I'm hot and everything. So I said, well, come to the supermarket, you go on the frozen aisle, cool yourself down. And she did, and she said, you know, it made it worse, she was ill for another 3 days.
Lawrence from New York says, I was wondering how Mr. K. Pilkington would interpret this famous saying of philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein. The quote is, if a lion could talk, we could not understand him.
Even if he's English.
Yeah, if a lion could speak English, so there's no language barrier, he's speaking English words and using all the correct grammar and everything, but you wouldn't be able to understand what he was saying.
Why?
Because it is from a different world. His frames of reference would be so bizarre that you wouldn't be able to get a grasp on what he was talking about, because you'd have so little in common, even if he used real words.
No, but he's talking English.
Yeah, no, but his reference points would be just so far removed. You know, they're removed slightly when, if you saw two people talking about Kierkegaard, you'd
I
hear...
wouldn't understand it.
Exactly. So remove that 1 billion times to a different species with different input.
No, but it depends. If I'm talking to a lion in London Zoo,
Yeah.
he'll be saying, oh, I'm fed up with being stuck in here. I'll go, yeah. It's like that. It depends what his background is. I mean, there's some people who might have lived down the road from me, but have a totally different life.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter that it's a lion, does it?
Well, yeah, because they're just trying to remove it even more. So now it's not just a bloke who lived a few doors away. Now it's not even a bloke. Now it's not even...
Yeah, but I'd pick something smaller, or something, you know, a worm without a mouth. I'd go, definitely not.
What? Definitely not what?
I wouldn't be having a chat with it. I just think that a worm that's underground, what's it got to offer me? It's blind and it hasn't got a mouth. It's not going to be a good day out with it, is what I'm saying. It's not going to have that much to say to me, even if it's English. Right?
Even if it's
And how can you tell if a worm is English? Is it wear a very tiny bowler hat?
Oh, Christ.
But do you understand?
What about a jellyfish?
No, you see, I think that's where you can say you wouldn't be able to have a good chat with them, because to me, the sea might as well be another world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In a way, I think the fish sort of have more rights than us.
What do you mean?
Just because when whoever made the world, right? Say, you know, we're just bigging up God, but if I was to have a go at him, I'd say you added too much water.
Criticism 1 to God, right?
So,
How would you have changed that? Just
more land.
Fair enough. Now, why have fish got more rights than us? That was what I was interested in.
Because there's loads of them, and when you look at the amount of sea on the world, right? There's loads of that. You only have to like you know, I was in Malaga the other week, right? And you know, you look in the sea, there's loads of different fish, and that's just in like 8-foot water. If you go miles out, there's like all sorts of weird fish, isn't there, with like lights on them and everything. So, and there's just millions of different types.
Yeah.
Now,
But why does that mean they've got more rights than us?
just because I think, you know, rights come in numbers, don't they? If you know what I mean. Like, if there's one of you shouting, people go, oh, he's an idiot, shut up, whatever. If there's loads of you shouting, they go, oh, best listen to him, see what they've got to say. Right. And that's what I mean about fish.
Yeah.
There's loads of fish.
Right.
So
But they're not really making their voices heard, though, are they, Carl?
Yeah.
I know, because they're underwater. But what I mean is, I don't know what I mean.
What would you do, right, if you had to go back and you were in a, you had to go put your mind in, like, an hatched egg of something? Like, maybe one of those, that a wasp was injected in a spider. So you know you're in an egg, right, which is really uncomfortable, in a spider. How would you feel about that, Carl? You're a baby wasp in the abdomen of a spider.
And I know everything that I know now. I'm sat in there.
Yeah. And now I'm in a spider as an unborn wasp. What the fuck am I doing here? What's going on?
I don't know what I'll do there. Probably try and sleep. There's nothing else to do, though, is there?
I just pray to God it never happens. Learned some famous quotes to see if they are as good as my sayings. Number 1, treat every day as if it's your last. Very famous saying. Now, is that something you do, Carl?
But you know, my problem with that one is that if it was your last, you wouldn't want to be doing much. That's the only problem I've got with that. I wouldn't want to, you know, go to a fairground or whatever, because you're going, oh, it's my last day, what am I going to do? And I think you'd spend so much time worrying about what you're going to do that you'd end up staying in.
I think you're right. You've taken some of the poetry out of it. I think it means live life to the fullest, right?
I like the fact that you were musing on the idea that if it was your last day, you'd go to the fair. It's getting such a 19th century way of spending your final day.
I know, yeah. Well, the thing is, the other thing is that, the only thing that people get depressed about in terms of sort of like, you know, life and death is, not the knowledge that they're gonna die, but more the knowledge that they know they're gonna die when they're dying. If someone told you, no one ever knows when they're gonna die, no one ever gets an illness, no one ever gets hit by a truck, everyone passes away peacefully in their sleep, dreaming they're riding a big marshmallow, right? Then you wouldn't care about anything. It wouldn't matter when, it wouldn't matter if you died tomorrow or in 30 years' time. You'd just live life to the full. You'd have it, every day would be great. You'd go out, you'd come back, you'd fall asleep. That would be amazing. There'd be no stress. There'd be no angsty, we're all gonna die stress, because it wouldn't matter. Because it would just be your life. Wouldn't it be amazing if someone guaranteed you, Carl, you're gonna die in your sleep? I'm not gonna tell you when.
Yeah, but some people do, don't they?
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
but we never know
that.
we're going to, because we stress. What if we get a dreadful illness? What if we, you know...
But we're almost not letting people die naturally anymore, are we? Because we're always bodging stuff up.
What do you mean?
Well, someone who might naturally die in the sleep aren't allowed to naturally die in the sleep because they wake them up with those electric things and get them going again and pop in a new lung or whatever whilst they're at it. That's what I'm saying. They don't just... You never hear it anymore, do you? Frank peacefully died in his sleep. No, he died on the operating table whilst we were putting in a new lung. They don't die naturally anymore.
Frank died peacefully with 40,000 volts going through them and a couple of people going, clear! Clear!
Me dad and me talked about history. I said we shouldn't go on about things that happened ages ago because I bet something similar has happened more recently.
Brilliant.
Read about an island in the Indian Ocean where there are tribesmen still living like they're cavemen. A helicopter tried to land and the tribesmen chucked spears at them. This is what I meant about not having to talk about things that happened ages ago. We have got new cavemen now, so why do we talk about the old ones? People could have lived before, but computers and all that blew up and books got burnt, so all they had left was what these tribesmen have got left.
Ramblings
And that's the ramblings
madman.
of a maniac. That's just a few hours before you go crazy with a gun in the...
No, but what I mean there is, right, say if all this has happened before, something happens,
Again, a lot of information from the Planet of the Apes.
world ends, right, we come back again somehow.
Yeah. It's the detail you leave
yeah.
out that makes you intriguing. Just like the watch that you can wear that tells you when you're going to die. How does it work? Pop it on your wrist. That's all the detail you need. So the world happened,
No.
we came back, we...
Have you seen the pictures? Forget it then if you don't get it.
It's interesting that you had all those profound thoughts about this period in the past when they all lived, but you still found it appropriate to include at the end of that. It says the tribesmen wave their knobs about when they've had enough of having visitors.
That's what it said in the paper. That's what happens. They're quite happy.
What paper is this that you're reading?
It was in like a paper a couple of days ago. It said they don't mind having visitors if they're bringing them coconuts and stuff that they can eat. Once they've got everything they need, they start waving the tackle about, and that means like, right, leave now, which you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, at a dinner party.
My grandfather used to do that.
I was in there the other day, and like I say, little bird noises and that, and a little robin was there, and I thought, that's odd, that's out early, right, because it's like sort of summertime and that.
Sure.
And then I thought, oh, that's nice, and I was watching it, and then it got like a little worm, right, and I was like, hey, put it down, right.
Sorry, whoa! What do you mean?
Because
Why
I
are you
didn't have-
interfering? Why were you interfering
In nature.
with a robin taking a worm?
Just because it was a nice sunny day and that, and I thought, you see, worms normally come out when it's raining, don't they? And you go, well, I bet they're happy to die, in a way, because it's chucking it down, it's miserable. They come to the top of the soil then, don't they?
Yeah.
When it's miserable. But it was a sunny day.
That's they don't drown, I assume.
No, it's not that, is it? It's just that they hear the water or something falling on the ground and they go up to see what's happening.
What? No, wait. But why do they come up when they think it's raining? You're a worm, okay? It starts raining. Tell me your thought process.
Well, you just kind of, you're down there, you can't see anything, it's dark anyway.
Yeah.
So the rain's coming down on the land, the worm goes, what's going on?
The worm goes, what's going on?
He wiggles up to the top.
So what does he do?
So it goes up and it sort of sees it's raining, and then it goes back down again, doesn't it? But that's what I'm saying about the
What do you mean? What is this world where he goes, oh, it's just rain again? Oh, so that's the 400th time I've been caught out this year. It's rain. I'll remember next time I won't come up. What do you think a worm is capable of in terms of cognitive thought?
What do you mean?
Well, a worm can basically tell certain chemicals and certain light patterns. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, and
It's not thinking, it's not choosing its favourite food.
you don't know that, though, is what I'm saying. You don't know what things are thinking. Everything thinks.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. The thinking...
There's something in this room that's not.
All right, what about this one, then? What about flowers? Do you think they've got
A mind.
a feeling? Because here's something that...
Again, they use phototropism. They go towards the sun. They close and
All right,
open.
well, here's-
Can you
they
stop
grow.
using long words, Rick, like sun?
Listen. But what I was saying is, about the worm, this robin that I saw that was eating the worm, it had hold of it, and I thought it's a sunny day and that, give the worm a break sort of thing. So I went, oh, like that, and it sort of dropped it in shock. But then, when it realised I wasn't that near it, it picked it up again and swallowed it. And I just thought, oh... Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean, no.
I just thought it's a sunny day and everything. Normally birds are nice noises that I like, and yet there it is going about wrecking lives.
Wrecking lives! It was a
But it just swallowed it really quickly and that, and I just thought, there's the worm. It came out, it was happy, didn't know what was going on, and it had an extra chance, the robin dropped it, and then it got it again and ate it, and I just made me a bit fed up.
Well, do you know why, don't you? You couldn't outwit a robin. The worm was going, oh, God, Karl Pilkington. So that's who's been sent to save me, is it, God? You've sent Karl Pilkington, oh, I'm dead. That's it, okay, eat me.
What sound or noise do you hate?
As me, or as a worm?
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
Why would we be asking a worm?
I've never heard an actor say that to James Lipton. When he says, what noise do you hate? What, as me or a worm?
No, but
Wow.
all I'm saying is, because of my last question, that's what I was saying. A bird noise is relaxing to me.
Right.
Well, it's not anymore, because I think of all the deaths and stuff that go around that.
So now you hate the sound of birds?
I'm just saying it's changed my view on it. It's
So-
it's like anything, isn't it? Every noise can mean a disaster.
Can it? Why would the sound of laughter, people laughing, why would that also signify disaster?
If you wake up in the night by the sound of, like, a baby laughing.
Baby laughing!
No, if I had a baby, right,
Yeah.
and Suzanne was out, she'd worked nights or something,
Yeah,
and I'd nodded off, I'd put the baby to sleep,
yeah.
and then it's 3 in the morning, and I'm woken up by the sound of a baby laughing, that would terrify me.
How is this? I just think the baby just sitting up in a chair like Chucky, going.
Well, no, I think the baby's reading his diary. Thinking, oh Christ, this is my father. I just hope I'm adopted.
Oh God, a baby laughing.
So I went and had it and stuff. But you had to, before you sort of said, right, I want this doctor, they give you loads of forms to fill out, right? And one of the things they did was, if you die, what do you want to give away, right? Like a donor. And what have you. And I thought, I really thought about it for 40 minutes or so. I didn't just rush into it. I was sat there thinking, you know, if I'm dead, does it matter and stuff? But I was really concerned when it said about the eyes.
Right.
Right. Why? What do you mean? What? Because can they have your eyes after you die?
It was. I think it was 4th on the list.
Why do you care about giving your eyes away when you're dead? Just
because of that thing of, you know, we don't know for sure yet. I know that you poo-poo it, but the afterlife thing.
So why, in an afterlife, would you want your eyes more than your liver and your kidneys and your lungs and your heart?
Because ghosts don't eat, do they? So you don't need all your liver and your kidneys and stuff, because they're only there to sort your food out. But your eyes, if you're a ghost, I don't want to be a blind ghost. Because you're around forever then, aren't you? Once you're a ghost, that's it. So the idea of being blind when you're alive, you go, well, all right, then maybe in the afterlife I might be treated to a pair of eyes. But the fact of wandering about, dead for years, bumping into stuff...
Oh God! Oh, it's amazing!
So,
oh, that's an amazing image!
So I didn't tick that box.
But why? I don't understand. In your theory of the afterlife, why is it that this ghostly Karl, why can he survive without a heart, but he can't survive without eyes? Why? Do you see what I mean? Surely, if you're this ghostly apparition, you can just see everything and you can do everything. You don't need the body.
No,
because you're a ghost.
Yeah, I know, but I think when you're a ghost. Say, like how they've seen ghosts in,
Right, could I just say now for any listeners, this is not the thoughts and beliefs of the management. There is no such thing as ghosts. I do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe in ESP or any mumbo-jumbo. Carry on, Karl. So when there's a ghost, yeah.
When they see ghosts in, like, old castles and stuff.
Yeah.
They've had their head cut off because they've been up to no good, right, years ago.
But they're carrying it around normally under their arm.
That's what I'm saying. It hasn't reattached itself. So if you take the eyes out...
But Karl, how is this ghostly creature able to function? It doesn't have its head on anyway. It's carrying it under its arm, so the suspicion is it doesn't need its head.
No, it does.
It just happens to be carrying it around because it wants to keep it with it.
The ghost is always in the last condition that it was in when it was in...
Who makes these rules?
The way you are in your last bit of life is how you are as a ghost forever, even in the fashion. Like I say, the ghosts that you see never wear modern clothes, so it's always the Victorian stuff. Now, if they could change it, they would, but they can't because they're stuck with it, so that's
why did you see cavemen ghosts? When did ghosts start? They didn't kick in till about 1830, did they? What if you die when you're having a rectal examination? Are you always bent forward with your trousers around your ankles and someone's finger up your arse?
But why would you die when you're having that done? That's why I'm not having it done, if that's...
No, but you might have both been suddenly, killed in a terrible disaster.
Yeah, a meteorite hit you.
That's when you get the moaning ghosts, isn't it? They're the ones who aren't happy.
So you're going round, bent forward, you've got a doctor's finger up your arse, and what are you doing?
You're sort of going, oh... And that's when you have to get the vicar round.
What do you mean?
they have to put you to rest and what have you, don't they?
And what does a vicar do when he's going... So I get the vicar round. It's years later, it's 100 years later, you're round this doctor's surgery and there's people coming, and the doctor there, the new doctor there, and it's 2073, and they go... Vicar. They go, Vicar, there's a strange ghostly apparition. It looks like an old doctor, right, and he's got his fingers up this sort of like little... It's like a chimpanzee, but with a shaved head.
No, but the doctor wouldn't be... Are you saying the doctor dies as well?
You both die. You die at the same time with his finger up your ass, and so you're forever having a little rectal examination with your little trousers around your ankles.
Well, that's when it'd be best not to have your eyes. 13, you're a teenager then, aren't you? Life got tough.
Yeah, how did it get tough?
Just straight away when I was 13, my mum was like, you know, oh, it's your 13th birthday, you're a teenager now.
Right.
And she gave us a quid to go and get a cake to celebrate it. Went to the supermarket, got a cake, and I just thought, I don't like the look of this. Don't like the look of the way the future is here.
on his 13th birthday.
Well, you were buying a cake. What did you see at the supermarket?
It was kind of like, I don't know, I suddenly felt grown up. I didn't like it.
But I think you were always about 58, really, with your outlook.
Well, yeah, my mum always said I was old. She said I was an old baby. She said I could frown before I could walk. So they always had a bit of a worry look on my face. Didn't say much, just always listened. My eyes moved about more than I did. Just sat there looking around, looking stressed.
My eyes moved about more than I did. Oh dear, couldn't walk. Well, I can't walk, but I'll try and get a bit of movement in my face. It's a workout, a baby workout. Oh, babies, well, if you can't walk, what about your face? Let your face do the walking.
It sounds like that horror film. It sounds like Pilkington's Baby.
Yeah.
Just you lying there in your cot.
I didn't like all the stuff that's set up for you. Like, my mum tried to send me to, like, a nursery. I said, no, I'm not having this.
Just like that.
I said when I'm older and I've got to go, I'll go, but let's leave out this bit. And she said, all right. She was...
I love that he could reason with her. I love him. He's 3 years old with a pipe. She's going, you're going to nurse. She goes, I think not, Mum.
I mean, kids don't play out, do they? Kids, you know, parents are scared to let the kids play out, and that's why the streets are dangerous now. Because no one's playing out on the streets. Whereas when I was a kid, everyone was out on the streets. The streets were safer. Because there was more people knocking about.
Right.
Let the kids play out.
It must be like a constant, like a Larry painting. His front garden, do you know what I mean? Just loads of people just
there was
walking
never
around.
any problems. I was sort of taken away by some fella.
What? Hang on a minute.
No, I was playing about in the garden.
Yeah.
But my dad's mate, Tony,
Yeah.
he did tiling with him. He drove past. And he saw me looking a bit fed up, so he just leant over, picked me up, took me to the pub. Now, the thing is, there wasn't panic. People weren't going, oh, God, where's Karl gone?
He's out.
Just...
How old were you?
He's down the pub. He's 4 years old, yeah. Well, he's only having a...
He's down the pub with Tony, probably playing darts.
Yeah, I was about 3 or 4.
Sorry, so some bloke drives by who happens to be a friend of your dad's, thinks that baby looks grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm taking him down to the pub.
That's what it was
Tony,
like.
you bringing a baby to the pub? Yeah, I might do, yeah, we'll bring in ours. Alright, see you later, mate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whereas now they go, the baby's gone. There's a big full-on panic going
Yeah,
on.
but I think it says more about your parents. They didn't do that. They looked out in the back car and you were gone. Some bloke's driving off in a van. They're just going, oh, well.
They rode down the pub.
Doesn't Princess Diana look lovely? This is absurd. So what happened when you got down the pub?
I just was there for a bit, and then...
For a bit, just had a game of pool.
Then my dad came in. It was like, oh, there you are. Mm.
Oh, there you are! I love that! Where's my baby? I'm just going to have a quick pint. Oh, there you are. All right, mate.
So, yeah, I think things were better back then.
I met up with my mate Laurie. He said he was in a pub at the weekend and saw a bloke whose hands were on the wrong arms.
No! What do you mean?
Well, he had his left hand on his right arm and the right hand on the left arm. I don't think this would be a problem if he's been like that from an early age. When I was in Ripley's in LA, I saw a bloke whose head was on back to front.
That's more annoying, innit, than your hands. Innit?
Now then, would you walk? How would you walk? Would you be walking backwards, Karl, so that you could walk? So you're basically walking forwards.
I reckon I'd walk sideways so nobody would sort of tell the difference. It just looked like...
Oh, God! He solved it again! He's thought it through. Oh.
Got home and read the magazine. There was a story about a baby that was born that looked like a frog. What magazine's this?
That made the news, that was in a proper newspaper in the end.
It didn't really have a neck or top half of its head. It would look alright if it always wore a scarf and a hat. The world would be a more interesting place if there were loads of different types of humans like there are creatures. Then some people would be good at certain jobs. Spider people, ant people, builders, cockroach people, dustbin men.
Good idea, isn't it?
I mean,
Cockroach men, spider men, what are you talking about?
Look at some insects, right?
Yeah.
They don't have machinery. Yet they're getting by, aren't they? They have their lives like we do. They get up, they wander about, they collect food, they tidy up, they fix stuff, they make their own house. We can't do any of that. So what I'm saying is, why aren't we using them? Why are these cockroaches with all these powers and stuff going about?
So these powers.
But how could we use them? How could we harness them?
I just told you, dustbin men. Or whatever that
No,
was.
you said that if they were also men, if they were cockroach men, we could use them.
You've left a big bit out, but when that 1-inch cockroach becomes a 6-foot bloke wearing a jacket.
It's just that we always use insects for, like, a bit of fun. You see flea circuses and all that, which is all very well, but I don't think it's getting the most out of them.
Woke up at 9:55 a.m. Soon as I woke up, I looked at Suzanne and she looked at me. I said, "Did I tell you about the immune system?" Suzanne started laughing. I said, "It's amazing." She said, "Not now." Springing into action, he zips up, his eyes are like... Did I tell you about the immune system? Oh, shut up, Carl. Put the kettle on.
Oh, God! Oh, fucking hell! Okay, then, this is the Karl Pilkington top 5 freaks in at number 5.
Probably, something not too good at number 5, but it's still interesting. Lighthouse Man.
Who's that?
Lighthouse Man?
What's Lighthouse Man?
It's a fellow with a hole in his head. And he, what he does, rather than moan about it, sticks a candle in it.
Shut up. What are you talking about?
Sticks a candle in it.
What are you talking about? Where is the hole?
I bet he didn't call himself Lighthouse Man, did he?
Well, I don't know, it's just what he got nicknames. Because he had this hole, doctors were like, there's nothing we can do, can't fill it. Thought, what can I do with it? And it was of the days when there was no electric and that. You had to walk about with a candle. So, hang on a minute.
I can have both
Got a
hands
little
for
candle
you.
holder here. Stuck a candle in it, and he just got nicknamed the Lighthouse Man. So again, it's not that amazing, but I like the way he was sort of energy efficient.
So was it in his forehead?
No, on the very top of his head.
That's perfect. You don't want it in the forehead, Steve. You'll have to walk back with
That'd
your
be
neck
ridiculous.
cricked.
So he was like a kind of human jack-o'-lantern?
He's a Lighthouse Man. What did you see? What
Sorry, mate, yeah, I
better
forgot
description
about
do you
that.
need than the Lighthouse Man?
So yeah, he's probably at number 5.
Wow, that's at number 5, Steve.
Number 4.
What about Pig-Faced Woman of Manchester Square?
Again, you're getting what it says in the tin there, aren't you?
Right.
And it's just this woman who had a face like a pig. And the rumour was
Yeah.
that it wasn't a woman. Someone said it was a pet bear and they'd shaved it. That's what that's what
Was
I've
this
heard
someone?
since.
Was this someone you saw? Or
No,
did you
no,
just read about
this is going back.
This is years ago.
This is years and years ago.
Yeah.
When there was loads of like weird looking people. I mean, the fact that it's Pig-Faced Woman of Manchester Square
Yeah.
says that there might have been one in
Piccadilly Circus?
yeah, whatever. So there was a lot more of them knocking about back then.
Let's assume that it was a woman, and the first one, the Lighthouse fellow, he's a human. Do you think people would object because of their disfigurement, deformity, like being called freaks? Do you think?
Well, it gave them a purpose back then. See, if you were a freak years ago, there was work for you. You'd have these circus things. Now, if you've got a funny head, you're on the dole.
Number 3.
What about Elephant Man?
Right.
Stick him at number 3. He's
Number 3.
He's surely the most famous freak ever to have lived, isn't he?
He's the one who got me into it.
Right. Yeah, sure. He's sort of entry-level freak.
Yeah.
A gateway freak.
Everyone is aware of him.
If the Elephant Man still existed, right, and you got the opportunity to meet him, and you walked in, a couple of questions. 1, what would your first reaction be? And 2, what would you say to him? What would your first question be?
How would I react? Well, I've sort of seen him enough now that it wouldn't shock me. So I don't even think I'd flinch.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, when I first saw you, that was a bit weird. But now, look, I can look at you, I don't double take or anything. What would I say to him, though? I'd probably say, where do you get that hat to fit you? He always had that on. Where do you get that from?
That sort of flat cap that he's got.
Yeah, that one, didn't he? So, yeah, I'd have him. So he's at number 3.
Right. Elephant Man number 3. I can't wait for
Right,
2 and
yeah.
1. Right. Okay. Number
Well, I
2.
know what my number 1 is. It's just number 2 now. I don't know his name, but there's a fella knocking about. Well, I don't think he's around anymore. But he had like a normal body. Looking at him, you'd go, "What's up with him? He's not a freak." Takes his undies off. He's got 2 knobs.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, he doesn't know where to start. Do you
don't
think
know.
he uses them alternately, like either way out of this one, either way out of that one, or does he just like spread the load so he's weeing out of both?
I don't think he knows.
What do you
I think
mean he
it's sort
doesn't
of
know?
like a lucky dip. When he goes to a urinal,
Yeah.
he can have a little bet with himself. He's just like, I don't know what's going to happen here.
So do you reckon he holds them
Holds
both
them
out?
out, definitely.
So he takes his trousers down because I mean, you know,
Yeah, you can't use a Y front.
right?
It'd be,
Need more like a W front.
Yeah. So he pops his pecs down there.
I don't think it's that much of a problem. It's not like...
Wow. I don't know.
I'd prefer that than Elephant Man's head.
Well, of course you would.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What if you had Elephant Man's knob?
Yeah, but he didn't work like that, did it? That's the thing. They said he had the body of an elephant. Well, that's the only thing that wasn't of an elephant standard. His knob was normal. Whereas with this fella, it's the other way round. Everything normal. Take the pants off. Oh, well, what's going on here?
But why would you ever take his pants off?
No, I wouldn't. I'm just saying if...
But why, I don't know why you'd be in a situation with this man with 2 knobs standing there with his pants on and you go pop your pants off. You're not a doctor.
No, I say if I'm waiting in a cubicle, and he's there.
For what?
Sorry, you're waiting in the cubicle.
I'm waiting to have a wee at a cubicle. He's taking 2 urinals up and going, hang on, you don't need them both, do you? He goes, well, actually,
oh, and then
have a look at this.
Right.
He's got 2 knobs.
See, I didn't see him at 2 urinals. I saw him at 1, maybe them pointing inwards.
If you had that, say the first time that you met Suzanne, would you mention that straight up?
Would you say, right, before this goes any further, I've got something to show you?
Well, let's see. Tell me exactly what you would say.
You had normal head then, didn't you?
I had the same head, yeah.
Yeah, but it had, like, hair coming out of it, didn't it? And sort of
yeah, but she also had a smaller arse back then as well, so I think we've both been dumb.
Anyway, we need to get to number 1.
Yeah, number 1.
Okay,
it's Pillow Man.
Oh, yeah.
Pillow Man. Okay, now explain for those that don't know who he was.
He's a fella with no arms and legs, just a head and a little body. Nickname Pillow Man.
Well, why is he your favourite?
Just because he's amazing. Just the way he just got on with his life. He used to light a cig, just using his lips and his tongue and that.
Oh, I've seen
this. Not fully lit. He'd buy like Roll Your Own.
Yeah, it's in the film Freaks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he
had
rolls
a shave as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How did he have
Do you
a
think
shave?
he used to do it? He used to get it in his mouth, and I don't know.
Jesus.
It's amazing. Did he have a knob?
I think he did because he had some kids.
What?
Yeah, he had kids. He was an all right looking fella. He wasn't odd looking. It's just
sorry?
He looked like Samuel L. Jackson. Imagine him with no arms and legs.
Right, that's odd though, isn't it? Really?
It's weird, but you've got to give it to him. You know, I mean, he's there rolling his own. He's pretty cool looking.
I just want to say to people, you say it looks cool, with no arms and no legs to smoke, but don't forget that smoking can stunt your growth.
Yeah, but yeah, remember he was on like this circus freak show thing with like a bearded woman.
Yeah.
Right. Which isn't really a freak, is it? She's going to have a shave. Have a shave, you're not a freak anymore.
Yeah.
A bearded woman. Compared to a fella who's got no arms and legs, a bearded woman, get out. But there was like a fella with no bottom half to his body, called Johnny Eck, was his name. So, you know, when you're knocking about with that crowd, you're going to get a bit. You're going to get a bit. So, yeah, he had kids, and they were all normal kids. They had all the limbs.
Did his wife had arms and legs?
Never saw his wife.
Never saw his wife.
I think
He was probably ashamed of her. She was a bit of a freak.
For someone like him, you'd think he'd just give up, wouldn't you? You think, forget it. What sort of life is it? I'm like a Mexican jumping bean. It's not worth living. But he just got on with it. I mean, to have a shave, I don't even bother having a shave some days.
No. Nor did the bearded lady. Lazy fucking bitch.
So that's why I've put him at my number 1 position. It's just amazing, isn't it? The human, you know, how you know, whatever you dealt, some people just get on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pillow Man, or Draft Excluder, as I prefer to call him.
There you go. Oh. Now, me and Steve are a couple of big shots. We do this for a laugh, but this is Karl Pilkington's only source of income. This is what you do now, isn't it?
This is my full-time job, yeah.
What do you think of that? Is this
impresses me.
Why?
This isn't what I ever wanted. Because I haven't got a purpose, have I? I'm sat here talking about the Pillow Man. If it weren't for him, I'd have nothing to say. It just depresses me. That I just wish I had a job where I felt like I was needed. And I don't feel needed. It's not a proper job.
We need you. We need you for money for old road.
I know, but this isn't. I wanted something that, you know, when you die and that, it's, you know, you get up to the gates, whatever, and they say, "What have you done?" And then I'm looking worried, thinking, "Is the Pillow Man about?"